Now we'll be looking at a recap of the Lindsey Graham funeral. Whatever you think of the person, politically, from different side of the aisle, we do have to say one thing and agree with. He did a lot for this country. He advocated for this country. He was a proud U.S. citizen. He was an American patriot. Okay? Let's get that out in the open. Lindsey Graham was these things. Despite, what people might think, even the Democrats, a lot of them have to tip their hats off when it comes down to Lindsey Graham, because he did do the work. He was a guy that looked beyond parties. He was the guy that looked beyond whether you was colored, what if you was, Caucasian or Hispanic. He didn't care about that, right? He cared about the issues. He cared about the matters, and he tackled the matters, and he was one of the most prominent Republicans that would go on the other side and make deals with the other side, and not just get like, hey, let's make a deal with the other side. He made it, it was impossible for a bill to be passed, but he said, like, hey, let's see if we can go in between, in the middle, so you can get what you want and the American people can get what they want as well. That was Lindsey Graham. And we'll be looking at a couple of videos about this. We'll be looking at a video where Senator Thune, we even got a video, President Trump, Sean Hannity, J.D. Vance, and we're going to be taking a look at this highlights of the Lindsey Graham funeral. All right, let's get to it. Here's our first one. Senator John Thune. Here's our first one. John Thune talking about his experience with the late and the most honorable Lindsey Graham. Let's take a look.
It's difficult to believe that we're here today to say a final farewell to Lindsey as he leaves the Capitol for the last time. My heart is heavy. I feel his absence every day, and I know so many of my colleagues do as well. Senators on both sides of the aisle counted him as a friend.
Right.
And Republicans and Democrats alike, including the Democrat leader, are here to say farewell. Lindsey was a towering figure here in the Senate.
You can see Chuck Schumer right there.
Stage. His leadership on national security and on our national defense is well known. I traveled with Lindsey all over the world as part of congressional delegations, and I saw firsthand just how much he was respected by our allies and just how well he was able to connect with foreign leaders around the globe.
Yeah.
Striking, too, was the instant connection he had with the military men and women that we met.
I mean, he served in the military anyway, so I'm not surprised.
Lindsey's work on these issues would be enough to cement his place as a leader in the Senate. But he was a leader on many other issues, too. As chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee in the 116th Congress, he fought tirelessly to advance well-qualified judges. He was serving as chair of the Budget Committee at the time of his death and was responsible for getting important tax relief legislation to the floor. And no tribute to Lindsey's work is complete without mentioning that he was a powerful voice for the pro-life movement.
Yeah.
Until my last breath, I will be fighting for this cause, he said. And he was. He was a fierce defender of Ukraine. He was a fierce defender of the unborn. And on the surface, these
might came down to the Ukraine thing, me and him would probably disagree.
But it strikes me that in another way, they are both of a piece. In both cases, Lindsey Graham saw injustice, and he spoke up.
That was John Thune, Senator John Thune, talking in the Lindsey Graham funeral. A lot of people, even Netanyahu, came to pay his respect. Hannity, hosts on Fox News, came to give respect. When you look back in the history of a man that literally been serving in public, doing public service for so many years, you just gotta just think, okay, this guy is one of a kind, a legend. There's not gonna be another one like him. He was tough on our enemies. He didn't play around when it come down to serious business. You can even hear a lot of them say like he was very nice. He would crack jokes. He would always make you laugh. He would always be very funny. But when it came down to serious matters, he was the hammer. He was the person to get the job done. He was the person that would come in the situation room, inside the meeting, whatever the case might be, and get a deal with a person that everybody believed that it's impossible to reach a deal with. Here is another video. Sean Hannity, where he just introducing people, and he even introduced Benjamin Netanyahu. Despite what people might like about the Jewish people or hate about the Jewish people, just want everybody to focus on Lindsey Graham and not Benjamin Netanyahu. But he was there. Let's take a look.
I see Prime Minister Netanyahu is here. Mr. Prime Minister, you too have been a dear friend of mine for 30 years. It's an honor to have you. And Lindsey would have been blown away that you took this long journey with your beautiful bride to be here today.
That is something, though.
He loved you. He loved the state of Israel. He loved the people of Israel. Under your leadership, Israel has been one of America's most consistent and loyal allies. He was never shy to say it, to the day he passed. And just as President Trump has been Israel's strongest friend in the history of the White House, the two partners aligned together. Lindsey was that friend to Israel in the United States Senate.
For real. Lindsey Graham was a big advocator for Israel. He was one of the most people that would say what he think about Israel. He was one of those people that would tell it like it is. If Israel made a mistake, he would say it. If they didn't, he would say it. He was that guy. He was a guy that was just let you know what he thought and how he thought. And it wasn't like, oh, he's going to sugarcoat it. No, he really didn't. He was literally a down-to-earth type of dude. And people knew him for that. People loved him because of that. Now, or people that there was a ghost name with, they didn't like him because he was one of the guys that they knew they couldn't just overtalk or overrun or try to play and try to get their way. It was American votes for him. Israel second. American votes. Israel second. We got another video. Donald Trump speaking there. J.D. Vance speaking as well. We're going to see Donald Trump's votes. Trump speaking. And then I got another one of Trump speaking as well. And we'll take a look at these. Let's take a look.
Today we gather in the deepest gratitude and profoundest sorrow to honor a beloved friend, a devoted brother, a respected statesman, a giant of the United States Senate,
For real.
and a true American original who left us much too soon.
Yeah.
And that can only be the one and only Lindsey Graham. By the strength of his steadfast convictions, the force of his magnetic personality, and the goodness of his noble soul, Lindsey rose from a small town in rural South Carolina, a place he loved so much, to become a constant fixture of American politics at the highest level. and a force to be
He was a great
reckoned with
senator.
all over
There's a
the
lot of
world.
things that we disagree with.
For more than 30 years,
But
nothing of
above all,
consequence
he was a
happened
great senator.
in this Capitol without Lindsey Graham knowing about it. Nothing of significance happened anywhere in the world without Lindsey Graham having a view on it. And no bill became law in the most exceptional republic in human history without Lindsey Graham having a say in it. He was a man who gave America the full measure of his good and mighty heart until that heart itself just gave out.
Rest in peace to Lindsey Graham. Rest in peace to a true American patriot. Rest in peace to a person that carried the torch and made sure that he did his job. He did do his job. Despite what people want to, say about him, even the rumors of even how he died, we don't know. There was no evidence of that. It could have just been a coincidence. It could have been. I'm not saying it was, but it could have been. I don't have no evidence that it wasn't. I don't have no evidence that it was. You feel me? So a lot of people think that he was killed by some foreign enemy. I mean, Iran did have him, President Trump, some more people from the Trump White House talking about how much they're going to kill them. They have even President Trump in a coffin, have dolls of President Trump beheaded, saying what they're going to do to him, Lindsey Graham as well. And then after that, he literally passed away, and they said it could have been a heart attack. And it was a heart attack. At least that's what the autopsy is showing. But nevertheless, that's what people still thinking about. What is a coincidence? Now, we got one more video I want to check out real quick. It's Doom talking a little bit, and then JD Vance takes over. Let's take a look at this.
Lindsey will be remembered as a senator and as a statesman. But for me, most of all, I will remember him as my friend. And to Lindsey, rest in peace, my friend. I look forward to the days when you make us all laugh again.
I first got to know Lindsey Graham when I was on
the sense of humor I was talking about.
My own Senate race in 2022. Lindsey Graham could make anybody laugh. I remember on that campaign trail where, you're trying to raise money. And one of the ways that you raise money is you send people to your campaign website. And I said, Lindsey, before one of these Fox hits on the campaign trail, I said, Lindsey, could you maybe mention the website, jdvance.com? And over a 4-minute interview, he must have mentioned jdvance.com close to a dozen times. The host would ask, how was the weather? And Lindsey would say, well, before I check the weather, I always go to jdvance.com.
Sure he does.
And in a 4 or 5 minute TV appearance, Lindsey Graham raised us over $100,000.
Man.
And that campaign stop was a critical part of me getting elected to the United States Senate and, of course, going on this incredible journey. That was who Lindsey Graham was.
Lindsey Graham, as I said, American hero, American patriot, a guy that was dedicated, that was sole purpose was to make relationship with foreign countries, to make sure America's interests was put first before anybody else. Not Israel. Yes, he loved Israel. He did. This is something that everybody know. But it was always and forever will be America first. Rest in peace to Lindsey Graham.